this transcendental vibration by chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the sublime.
Thank you, Jayanti Mataji. So আমরা এখন প্রভুজির কাছ থেকে প্রবচন শুনতে পারি, ওনার আশীর্বচন শুনতে পারি। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে কমলনাথ কৃষ্ণ প্রভুর কাছে। So Maharaj, I would humbly request you to actually speak something for all of our benefits. Here we will not translate concurrently. I'll translate the gist of your presentation for the larger audience later in Bengali. Hare Krishna.
Namasheshtam manamapi sachiputram atrasarupam shirupam tasyagrajam uruparim matarim gushtavatim radhakundam girivanamaho radhika madhavasham prapto yasya pratita kripaya shri gurun tamnatasmi Hey Guru Gyanadadina Bandho Swanandadata Kuranaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sina Hitavatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Prajara Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivari Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's such a great honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you exalted Vaishnavas from around the world, particularly Bangladesh. It was my desire to come with Koladeep Pran Prabhu and his illustrious wife to Bangladesh, and we were making some plan when the trouble started there. And even now I feel even more inclined, and I'm feeling separation. Sorry that I haven't had the opportunity to come and be in your midst and to have your association there. I know that the Bangladesh Yatra is one of the most dynamic of all the sanghas in our Iskcon movement. The devotees there are always enthusiastic for Panchangam Bhakti, and very particularly for distributing transcendental literatures and Sri Harinam Sankirtan. Yesterday, we were studying the Purusha Sukta and just noticing that from the time of this mantra, which is the oldest, comes from the oldest book in the world, the Rig Veda, there's mention of how if one becomes aware of reality, which is the Supreme Purusha, if one comes to know that everything comes from a person and that the entire universe has manifested through yajna, which is the subject of the Sri Purusha Sukta, then we have the keys to happiness in life. Krishna summarizes it in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhuktaram Yagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Rishyati. The Purusha Sukta describes how the Devas, the Rishis, taking the Virat, the form of the Lord, then created the various elements for the first sacrifice. So that which is that time performing the homa to please the Lord, Bhukyaram, Bhuktanam, Yagyatapasam. And from that, all the different forms of the world became manifest. I was thinking how today in the world because people don't know this. This means they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything emanates from him. They try to solve the problems of life through their own devices. They make adjustments politically, economically, physically, socially, and all of them create more complications. That is, when we try to solve our problems through our own intellects, we always create more problems. This is something Prahlad Maharaj mentions in his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, that the so-called remedies of this world are oftentimes worse than the disease itself. And so while I was reading the Purushukta, I was thinking how the ultimate solution to life always traces back to what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Manmana Bhava Bhakto. Just remember me. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami mentions that if you remember Lord Chaitanya, then difficult things become easy. And if you forget him, then what should become simple becomes very complicated. Near the end of the Purushukta, it is mentioned in a benedictory verse that anyone who becomes aware of the Supreme Purusha, who is the source of this manifested world, becomes liberated. It's something that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also. Everything's there in the Gita, right? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakvadeham punarjanma naiti mam iti sorjana. Krishna's just realized that my nature is categorically different from what we consider to be the normal characteristics of a person in this world. That is, the person in this world is subject to birth, death, old age, disease, to illusion, and the various other anomalies of the material world. But Krishna isn't subjected to that. When he comes to the world, he's unaffected because it's his energy. And in the Gita, Krishna says, Trivir Gunamaya Bhavir Epi Sarvamidam Jagat Mohitam Navijanati Mamepya Paramavyam. Nobody knows this. They're all covered by the lower energy of the material world. Therefore, the solution to all problems is to remember God. Now, there are many religious processes in the world, and we have those that are theistic, that understand there's one God from whom everything else emanates. We give them respect. But as Prabhupada points out in the Sri Upanishad, in the verse Om Purnamada Purnamidam, etc., that all forms of incompleteness in this world are due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The benefit of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as the other Vaishnav literatures, is that it gives complete knowledge of the complete whole. And when one has that, one can naturally perform Panchangam Bhakti. Because when you know who the Supreme is, you can hear about the Supreme. Or at least when you understand the philosophy, Siddhanta Bala Chitanakara Alash Ihahoite Krishna Lagi Sudrid Manash, if you can come to understand in the association of devotees, logically, philosophically, that there is a source to everything, and that source has intention, abhigna and swarat, and independence. And you can come to understand that Supreme is a person with whom I have a relationship. Then you come Sudrad Manosh, your mind becomes very determined to hear, and you start the process of Panchangam Bhakti by hearing about Krishna. And gradually by hearing, Bhagavatam gives this paragraph, Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Hibadrani Vidunoti Suritsitam Nashtraprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kamalo Badayaschaye Chete Teranavidam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidite Hriya Grantis Jijante Sarva Samshaya Shiyante Chasya Karmani Drishteva Manishvare. Prabhupada includes that paragraph of Sanskrit verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, spoken by Sutta Goswami, in his poem that he wrote on the Jaladuta coming to America, as the panacea. That is, hearing about Krishna as the panacea. Panacea, pan means everything, and acea means the medicine that cures everything. It's the one thing everybody's looking for. Nowadays, people go on what is that shopping? Amazon Prime. I don't know if you get everything there, but you get everything on Amazon Prime. Except for, well, no, you can also get. But the point is, everyone's looking for some item that will solve all the problems. But Prabhupada brought that medicine and said, it starts with this Panchangam Bhakti with hearing. And Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. This is the place where you'll feel fulfilled. Punya Shravana Kirtana. You actually get wealth, and you know it. And Nashta Prayeshu Bayushu, you notice that Abhadreshu, they're all the bad things that you're trying to avoid, they diminish. They Agam Dunvanti Kartsneya Nihara Iva Bhaskara, like as mentioned in Bhagavatam, it's like fog and it starts to clear because Bhaskar comes and it's clearing out. And then there's Tada, Rajas, Tamo, Bhava, Kamalubadeyasje. The lower modes of material nature don't have an influence on us anymore. And evam prasanna manaso, we become happy. We actually become happy. And Vidyate Grantish, our connection to the material world, which is illusory anyway, as the Shastra Prabhupada quotes many times, Asango Hyayam Purusha, we don't have any real connection to the material world, but somehow or other we've gotten involved. But hearing Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, and the Vaishnava Shastra, because it's so complete and because it talks directly about the Supreme Purusha, Krishna, it cuts the knot of attachment that we have to the material world. And Krishna is so kind. It's one of the most enlivening of realizations that the Vaishnava has, that Krishna is my suhrit. He's my best friend in the heart. And this is something Sudama, we hear in the Bhagavatam about Sudama Brahmana, whose wife was in great anxiety. She was afraid to approach her husband because she knew he only wants Krishna. He doesn't want to ask for anything. But she also couldn't feed him properly because he was ultra renounced. He wouldn't take anything from anyone, and therefore they lived in penury. Even his clothes were not nice. There was not enough food in the house. So as a chaste, devoted wife, she wanted to take care of her husband, but she couldn't, and she was afraid to ask him. But she finally brought up the subject. He said, by the way, Krishna's your friend. He's in Dwarka. Maybe you go see him. And then before he left, she begged a little rice from the neighbor. Imagine she didn't even have rice. So she gave it to him. He tied it in his cloth. He went and when he got to Dwarka, he was so enamored of the opulence that he wandered into the palace of Rukmini. Krishna greeted him as a friend and honored him as a brahmana, washed his feet, and then had discussion and remembered their time together in the ashram. And as Sudama was leaving the next day, he was thinking, Krishna is so kind that he didn't give me anything because he knew I'd become attached. And when he got home, he saw that his life was transformed. Now, what was Krishna thinking? Our acharyas tell us that that simple offering of rice that Sudama didn't even want to give to Krishna, it touched Krishna's heart so deeply that Krishna thought, even if I give everything I have, which is all the wealth of Indra, all the wealth of the universe, it's nothing compared to what he gave me in the one tiny offering of rice. Nothing. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the farmers, they offer their mantras and worship to the clouds because the clouds sustain their crops. He says the clouds, they feel so humbled by this offering that they'll only rain at night because they want to silently give back, because they think that my offering is so insufficient. And so Vishwanath says, Krishna's like that. When we give him something, he feels so purchased by his devotee that he thinks, I can't give anything back. Imagine, people are afraid of God, or they're angry at God, or they say there's no God. This is Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. There's this sense of anger everywhere in the world now, that everyone's angry because they think I'm getting less than I deserve. I am being mistreated. But nobody knows that actually Krishna is Surit, their best friend, and that he wants to give everything to those who just turn their attention to him. So the example that you're all setting by engaging in Panchanga Bhakti is the light that the world needs to see. You're engaged in hearing about Krishna, then chanting about Krishna. You have worship of the holy Dham, and you're associating with devotees, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, worshiping the deity. All of these are the substance of what human life is meant for. They are the very purpose of the human form of life. So the way that you're conducting yourselves by holding on to Krishna's lotus feet and going on with the Guru Parampara's system of Panchangam Bhakti is the formula for success, and is also something that others can take up. And whenever possible, the Vaishnavas are eager to give this Panchangam Bhakti and the process of Nam Sankirtan to whomever they meet. And we read yesterday in our offering during the reading of the results from the 2024 marathon, which, by the way, I don't know if you heard, but our goal for last year was, as a global team, to distribute at least 4.2 million Bhagavad Gitas. Did you know that was the goal? Well, I'm very happy to report to you that last night we reported to half of the globe, and this morning we're reporting to the other half of the globe because the time difference, we have to do it in two parts. We distributed 4.5 million Bhagavad Gitas worldwide. And that means there was an 18% increase in the distribution of Bhagavad Gitas over 2023. Now, the sales of iPhone only got a 2.3% increase last year. The car called Tesla, it was down by 1.1%. But we were up by 18%. And 4.5 million. Chennai, it only has 4 million people, you know, Chennai. So that means what we did last year altogether, we could have given one Bhagavad Gita to every single person in Chennai. And there are other cities like that. So Prabhupada said, cover the globe. And there's a paint company called Sherman-Williams, and they have a logo. It's a can of paint pouring down on the earth, and it's being covered, and it says, cover the earth. And Prabhupada saw that, and he said, yes, that should be our motto also. So when we measured the size of the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, it covered about 119 square kilometers. That means that the pages of the Bhagavad Gita that we distributed, 4.5 million Bhagavad Gitas in 2024, could have covered all of San Francisco, the whole San Francisco Bay Area where we live. So if we can cover one city, that means we can systematically cover all the cities in the world with the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna consciousness is an eternal process. It can't be stopped by anybody under any circumstances. In wherever we are, whatever circumstances, we can always go on with our Panchangam Bhakti. And then after fortifying ourselves, when the opportunity comes, we can pour forth to others. So this is a lifetime of preparation. I'm so very appreciative and touched by what you're all doing around the world. I hanker for your association. I look forward to coming with Koladeep Pran Prabhu and his family to visit everybody in Bangladesh and to dance in ecstasy at all the places where Lord Inanda Prabhu had held forth and taught the world the process of devotional service, the places where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And I pray for your success and protection, and may all of your desires for pure devotional service, may Krishna fulfill them very quickly. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.
We are really grateful for Maharaj being here today. He was sick yesterday and could not actually attend our temple class. And I was a little doubtful also about his recovery, but eventually he could make some time for us. I know he has a very, very busy schedule during the weekends. I think many of us have no idea how busy he is. He is inspiring, as I mentioned before, that many devotees around the globe. Actually, আমি বাংলায় বলি, Maharaj, I will speak in Bengali so that the larger audience can
আমি
understand.
বাংলা বলি।
কৃষ্ণ, যে আপনারা আসলে জানেন না যে কি পরিমাণ তার ব্যস্ততা। এই বিশেষ করে উইকেন্ডের সময়ে তিনি শুক্রবার থেকে শুরু করে রবিবারে কন্টিনিউয়াসলি একটার পর একটা প্রোগ্রাম করে যেতে থাকেন। এর মধ্যে তিনি গত শুক্রবার এবং শনিবার গতকালকে তিনি অসুস্থ ছিলেন, তো আমাদের মন্দিরের যে তার প্রোগ্রাম ছিল সেটাকে ক্যান্সেল করতে হয়েছিল। মহারাজ, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু লিভ, মহারাজ, ইউ ক্যান লিভ বিকজ ইউ হ্যাভ অ্যানাদার প্রোগ্রাম টু অ্যাটেন্ড নাও। আই নো দ্যাট লিভ টু গিভ ক্যাম্পেইন। So
Yeah, it's hard to leave because the Bengali is so nice.
Prabhu, Maharaj can announce the winner of the contest.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and we can bring them live. Let's see.
I see. So, Maharaj, we have conducted a presentation contest based on Srila Prabhupada's preface on introduction on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and there were 5 topics to choose from, like Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and discuss about the contents of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 9 processes of devotional service, 4 types of defects a human body has. So many devotees actually participated in those presentation, like around 25 devotees. So now we are announcing actually all the winners. Kamal Mukha Krishna Prabhu, you have the winner's name?
Yes, I would like to ask everybody to raise, because I don't know them personally, but যখন আমরা আপনাদের নামগুলি অ্যানাউন্স করব আপনি হ্যান্ড রেজ করতে পারেন। So we will announce 3 names. First was পূজ্যেশ্বরী রাধিকা দেবী দাসী। আপনি পূজ্যেশ্বরী রাধিকা দেবী দাসী?
এই যে মাতাজি আছেন, হরে কৃষ্ণ।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, so Mataji, you can, Prabhuji will bless you. Prabhu, this is she became the first one in the contest. It is a presentation contest, 10-minute presentation. পূজ্যেশ্বরী রাধিকা মাতাজি আনমিউট করেন।
হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Congratulations. Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
চরণ কমলে প্রণাম।
Okay, second হচ্ছে শিলা মাতাজি। শিলা মাতাজি, anybody can, let me see where is শিলা মাতাজি. শিলা মাতাজি আনমিউট করে নেন। So Maharaj can give you blessing.
হরে কৃষ্ণ, সকলের শ্রীচরণে প্রণাম। বাঞ্ছাকল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপা সিন্ধুভ্যেব চ পতিতানাং পাবনেভ্যো বৈষ্ণবেভ্যো নমঃ।
Well done. Well done. Sadhu sadhu.
থার্ড হচ্ছে শান্তনা মাতাজি। আমি দেখি আপনাকেও স্পটলাইট আনতে পারি কিনা। শান্তনা মাতাজি আনমিউট করুন।
এসে হয়েছে।
আনমিউট করে নেন মাতাজি। আনমিউট।
Hare Krishna, Pranam,
Hare Krishna.
everybody.
Congratulations.
Bhattapurubhascha kripa sindhubhyo evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
So these are 3 winners. এবং Prabhu, the most of the participants are Matajis.
Jai.
Out of 25, all of them, most of them are Matajis.
Well done. Well done. This kind of attention to Shastra is the heart and soul of our parampara. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had emphasized the Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, and so forth. And all, I think this way that you're studying Shastra very carefully, it goes with the verse I mentioned earlier. Siddhanta bolaya chitanakara alash iha hoite Krishna loge sudard monosh. That when you know the Shastra clearly, that you come to Siddhanta, and then your mind becomes very clear. It's also one of the distinguishing factors between a Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama Adhikari. And Madhyama has faith, but is not so good with Shastra and logic. But the Uttam has strong faith and also is expert, Shastra Sunipuna. So this kind of study that you're doing and writing about your realization is something that Prabhupada emphasized again and again and again. In fact, when I was with a group of devotees in San Francisco and I first joined the Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada told us, he said, my books are not just for selling. My books, he said, I want you to read them, become pure devotees, and go back home, back to Godhead. So you're setting such a nice example for doing this. And I also like this kind of study. I mean, I'm enrolled in the Bhaktivedanta course, and just this morning was listening to the verses I have to memorize and so forth. So I know how fulfilling it is to do what you're doing there. So keep up the great work. It's really amazing what you're doing. And thank you for all your leadership, Kamala, Mukha, Krishna, Prabhu, and others who are organizing such amazing programs.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you want to translate?
Yeah, Yeah, I just want to add one thing. Actually, Vaiseshika Maharaj actually personally is an example of কিভাবে শাস্ত্র পড়তে হন। তিনি অ্যাকচুয়ালি পুরো আমাদের কংগ্রিগেশনকে গত 1 বছরের মধ্যে কুন্তী দেবীর সমস্ত প্রার্থনার শ্লোক, প্রহ্লাদ মহারাজের সমস্ত প্রার্থনার শ্লোক, এখন 11তম এবং 12তম স্কন্ধের যত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ শ্লোক আছে সেগুলো মুখস্থ করাচ্ছেন, এবং তিনি প্রায় সমস্ত ভাগবত গীতা তার মুখস্থ রয়েছে। এবং তিনি যেভাবে স্বাস্থ্য স্টাডি করেন, আমি ইসকন সিলিকন ভ্যালিতে আসার আগে আসলে স্বাস্থ্য যেভাবে স্টাডি করতে হয় এই সম্বন্ধে আমার কোনো আইডিয়া ছিল না। এবং তিনি সমস্ত যারা ভক্তরা তার সংস্পর্শে আছেন তাদেরকে অনুপ্রাণিত করেন, যে কারো যদি কোনো ইন্টারেস্ট থাকে কোনো একটা বিষয়, সেই বিষয়ে আরো গভীরে প্রবেশ করানোর জন্য তিনি অনুপ্রাণিত করেন। তো আমরা আসলেই সৌভাগ্যবান যে আজকে তিনি এখানে উপস্থিত হয়ে আমাদের এই যারা বিজয়ী আছে তাদের নাম ঘোষণা করলেন এবং তাদেরকে আশীর্বচন দিলেন। আমি পার্সোনালি মনে করি এটা আসলে আমাদের এই সংগঠনের জন্য একটা বিরাট বড় মাইলস্টোন আজকে। তো মহারাজ, we want to thank you from the core of our hearts that you are here today among your busy schedule and blessing us all of the devotees. As I mentioned to the devotees that there is no one better than you to bless this occasion, especially talk about reading and studying Shastra, because I see personally how you're inspiring thousands and thousands of devotees across the globe, not only to distribute the Shastra, but also study it, as you have, ordained by Srila Prabhupada himself. So thank you for being the torchlight of inspiring others to study Shastra deeply, and for your presence here amongst the busy schedule. And we want to hear from you in future also, because the devotees, they would like to know more about how to go deep into the Shastra and conceptualize all the difficult topics. So please like keep us in your thoughts and your radar. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Prabhu,
you,
I'll
Koladeep
take
Pran Prabhu. Yes.
1 minute from you. I have 3 judges here. His Grace Sarvamitra Prabhu, His Grace Gaur Krishna Prabhu, and Kuladeep Prabhu himself was a judge. So 3 judges, and this program was coordinated by Manno Nimai Prabhu. These are our senior members in the Bengali community, and also our admin of this group.
Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations for your amazing service. Every second we have in this human life is valuable, and I can see that you're utilizing your lives perfectly in line with the Guru Parampara. I look forward to having your association more and more. Panchakalpadurusha Kripasanabhyo Patitanam Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.